Hello and welcome! In this video series we are going to build a live trading bot with Python and the Binance API. The infrastructure will look like this. We are setting up a Python script which is pulling live prices from the Binance API, is doing the data cleaning and data manipulation part, and finally imports these live prices into a SQLite database. The second script then is accessing the live data, analyzes it, and going forward, this will also carry the trading logic. Important disclaimer: cryptocurrency and in specific automated trading is bearing a huge amount of risk and may result in a total loss of your invested capital. Cryptocurrencies are not regulated and the Python Binance API wrapper is not official. Even more important disclaimer: I'm only providing you ideas and show you the technical implementation. You need to do your own research, assess and manage the risk based on your own risk profile and make proper adjustments. Please just see these videos as projects and don't blindly follow my scripts. Alright, so let's get started. This is the first script which is taking care of importing real-time live Bitcoin prices into a database. We need pandas, create engine from SQL Alchemy, the client from the Python Binance library, side note, make sure you've installed that beforehand, and also the Binance Socket Manager. After that, we instantiate the client and set up the Binance Socket Manager as BSM, passing the client. Next, I'm doing exactly what the documentation of the Socket Manager is telling me to do. So let's switch over. I'm using the manual way to keep things simple for now. The recommended way is to do it with async functions as shown here. In general, there are multiple ways to pull live prices from the Binance WebSocket API. I will link some videos where I'm going over the different approaches, including using async functions. Instead of the trade socket, I'm using a Kline socket, so candlestick data. This is the only difference to the documentation code. So what exactly is this code doing when we are executing this? Whenever we are executing this, we are getting live data from the WebSocket server. So this is a dictionary containing some information. For instance, and relevant for us, the event timestamp, which currently is a Unix timestamp, which is not human readable. We'll convert this into a human readable timestamp in some minutes. What's also important here is the subdictionary K, a dictionary within this dictionary. This dictionary K is containing Kline or candlestick information. So for instance, I'm getting T, the opening timestamp of the candle. Capital T, the closing timestamp of the candle. I, which is the interval, which is 1 minute currently. Now I'm not going over every single detail here, but for us, most important one here is C. C is the close price of that event candle, which is the live price of the coin. Now this might be a bit counterintuitive because you might think, hey, I already got a timestamp when this candle is closing. But as you're getting live prices, you're also getting intra-candle prices. So the C is the close of the non-finished 1 minute candle, the current price. The X, which contains false here, is telling you that this data tick contains an unclosed candle, meaning this data tick is an intra-candle data tick. Now in the right corner here on the tab, you see the live price of the Bitcoin from Binance. So whenever you are executing this, you're getting the live price as C here, and this will exactly match. So I'm going to show that to you. If I'm executing that, so check that price. You're getting exactly that price here. Pretty cool, right? Now let's do some data transformations and reduce this data to the information needed. So I only want to have the timestamp of the current price and the price itself. So the two values we need from this dictionary is E and C. You might need more information, so feel free to pull them for this video, I only need those two values. Now to extract only those information, I'm creating a pandas data frame within a function which is taking care of all my data transformations here. So this function is taking the message from the server, which is a dictionary. And within this function, I'm creating a data frame containing two columns, time and price. And as you see, time is simply accessing the event timestamp, as you see here. And price is simply accessing the K dictionary within the dictionary, and then is accessing the close, so the current price. Whenever you are instantiating a data frame, you need to pass an index, so I'm just setting the index to 0 here. This is transforming the currently string formatted price, as you see here, so this is a string value, and we want to have it as a floating value, so I'm doing a typecast here. And now the time value, which is the event timestamp, is Unix timestamp formatted, and I want to have it as a human readable timestamp. So I'm using pandas to datetime function here, pass the time value and define the unit as ms. In the end, I'm returning that data frame. So let's execute that and let's apply the data transfer function to a data tick. So I'm just getting fresh data here and then apply the function, and as you see, now I'm getting a human readable timestamp, so date and time here, and the most recent price. So this is transforming the data to a lucid data frame. Next, we want to set up the connection to our database to import data into it. So I'm setting up an engine here to connect to SQLite and give the database a name. So in this case, BTC USDT stream.db. This will create a file in your current folder with that exact name. And with the engine, you can write data into that database and also read data from that database. Next, we want to set up a stream of live prices imported to this database. So what I'm doing is I'm simply executing this block in an endless loop. So I'm getting new data ticks all the time. There is one check we have to do to avoid that we are importing unnecessary data into our database. When you are calling this in an endless loop and there is no new data tick from the server, you would get an old data tick, meaning you get duplicates of timestamps and prices in your database, which you want to avoid. So what we are going to do is to set up a variable containing the current timestamp. Initially, I'm just setting that to 0. And then we simply on each data tick check if we actually get an updated timestamp. So this is happening here. So if the time value is larger than the timestamp value, which is initially 0, so the first one will be definitely filled, then you reassign the current event timestamp to the current timestamp. And with that, you avoid duplicates due to no new price information data. But let's go over this whole block of code. So this is holding your timestamp to avoid that you're getting duplicates. And this is just an endless loop pulling data from the WebSocket server. Then you're doing the data transformation and store it in DF. So this is simply this form of data frame you are storing in DF. And when you're getting new price data, so the time value is larger than the current event timestamp, then you want to import this data frame to SQL, give the table in your database a name, BTC USDT in this case, pass the engine so that pandas actually knows where do I have to write it into. And if that table exists, you just want to append, and you have to pass index as false here, as we have just a 0 index containing no information. Again, summarizing. This code block is requesting data from the WebSocket server, then is transforming this data into a data frame. And if we have updated price data, we are importing that into our database. Be mindful here, if you run this, your database will get new data roughly every second. So when you're done with your session, I recommend to reset the database by deleting data or just delete the BTC USDT stream data file. What you can also do is to implement a mechanism so that you're only going back until the last, let's say 30 minutes or whatever you're interested in, and delete the data before that, just to give you some input. Anyhow, let's run it. And with that, we have established a live price data stream flowing into a SQLite database. So we can set up a new script where we are requesting data from this database. Let's do it right now. So let's create a new notebook here. We need pandas. We need alchemy. That's already it. And now we need the same engine. Just connecting to that database we just set up. And now it's getting interesting if I'm reading SQL now. So this is accessing data from a certain table, and I pass the BTC USDT table, which I created by executing this one here. And then whenever I'm getting a new data tick, I'm getting a new row imported into that table. And I will show you now, if I'm executing that, of course, pass the engine so that pandas knows where to read from. And now you see this interesting construct here containing the time and the price column, so timestamp and the current price. And whenever you are executing that newly, you are getting more data in, right? Because all the time you're getting new data imported. So now it has 25 rows here, right? I'm executing that again. Now it has 34 rows. And so on, right? And you see you only get new price data because we did the check that we only want to have timestamps which are not duplicated here. So let's store that somewhere. And then you can even do some data analysis or data visualization with that. So let's set the index of that data frame to time here. So then we have it as an index, and then we could actually plot it. And then you see the Bitcoin price development over the last, 2 minutes here. Nothing much going on. But this will fill up real quick. And you will see some developments here, right? So price is currently not moving that much. Let's see if that is actually true. Yeah, it's pretty flat right now, as you see here. So it makes sense what this is showing me. So going up a bit, so you can track it in real time, right? So yeah, I hope you found this as exciting and as interesting as I found this. And in the next one, we are using this to implement a trading logic and place real orders. Looking forward to it. So thank you very much for watching, and see ya in the next one. Just a quick insert here. After some minutes, this is looking like this in a plot. So you see that the Bitcoin was dropping over the last minutes here, right? Which you can also see in the chart here.